My parents threw me out at 16, so my sister could move back with her fiancé. I never thought I'd be packing my stuff on my sweet 16, but there I was, shoving my life into garbage bags while my parents checked their watches in the doorway. Not exactly the birthday surprise a girl dreams about, you know. "We need you out by 5, Mom said, scrolling through her phone like she was checking a grocery list instead of evicting her kid. "Jake's expecting you." The morning had started with my parents sitting me down at our kitchen table, that fancy and wooden one they'd bought when we moved to our Portland neighborhood 3 years ago. Dad cleared his throat like he was about to give some corporate presentation. "Honey, now that you're 16, we think it's time for you to experience some independence," he said, not quite meeting my eyes. Mom jumped in. "Your sister Abby and Todd are moving back with Nugget. They need the space, and you're so mature for your age." Translation: Golden child Abby, her fiancé, and their yappy Pomeranian needed my room in our 4-bedroom house. Somehow. I glanced between them, waiting for the punchline. "You're kicking me out? On my birthday?" "Don't be dramatic," Mom sighed. "We'll keep paying your expenses until you're 18. Jake has that spare room, and he works from home so you'll have supervision." My Uncle Jake lived 40 minutes away. Different school district, different everything. "What about my friends? My school?" My voice cracked embarrassingly. Dad checked his Rolex, the one Abby got him last Christmas. "We've already spoken with the new school. Jake's expecting you today." Mom brightened up. "And now we can finally renovate your room. Abby wants to knock down that wall to make a nursery when the time comes." They were already planning renovations. My room wouldn't even exist anymore. So there I was, dumping my clothes into hefty bags while my parents waited impatiently. My textbooks, my old Converse collection, everything I couldn't fit would be sent later. Spoiler alert, most never was. Dad loaded my bags into our Tahoe like they were filled with yard waste. The drive to Uncle Jake's was dead silent, except for Mom occasionally pointing out how nice his neighborhood was. When we pulled into Jake's driveway, she kissed my cheek with her Sephora-perfect lips. "This is for the best, honey. Call us when you're settled." And just like that, I was dropped off like an Amazon return. Update. Y'all, I'm genuinely blown away by the support. Reading through your comments has me tearing up between classes. Some asked if my parents ever explained why they couldn't put Abby in another room or finish the basement instead. That's exactly what I couldn't understand either. There's more to this story than I initially realized, and it involves money, like serious family money. Should I confront them about what I discovered or just keep my distance? I'll post more details tonight. Uncle Jake wasn't what I expected that first day. He stood in his doorway rocking a faded Nirvana t-shirt and messy hair. Not exactly the put-together brother of my Vineyard Vines-wearing father. "So, surprise sleepover?" he said awkwardly as my parents' Tahoe disappeared down the street. I dragged my garbage bags inside, feeling like actual garbage myself. "Guess it's more than a sleepover." Jake's place was modest but cozy, photos everywhere, mismatched furniture that somehow worked together, and a gigantic dog named Boris who immediately decided my lap was his new favorite spot. "Your parents said you wanted this move," Jake said, helping me with my bags. "Said you were tired of Portland and needed a change." He studied my face. "But that's not true, is it?" I broke down right there in his living room. Told him everything. My birthday present, how they needed my room for precious Abby, her fiancé Todd, and their stupid dog that barked at everything. Jake's face changed, like I literally watched the cool uncle persona melt into something I'd never seen before. "They kicked you out on your 16th birthday?" His voice was dangerously quiet. "To make room for your adult sister?" He grabbed his phone and put it on speaker. Mom answered on the second ring, all sugar sweet. "Jake, is everything okay with—" "Cut the crap, Diane." His voice made me flinch. "You kicked your 16-year-old daughter out of the house on her birthday to make room for your adult child?" The silence from Mom's end was deafening. "It's a family decision, Jake. You wouldn't understand our—" "I understand perfectly. You're playing favorites. Always have." "Now wait a minute." "No, you wait. You told me she wanted this move. That's a straight-up lie." Jake's knuckles were white around his phone. "You know what? I'm glad she's here instead of with people who'd throw away their kid for convenience." He hung up and turned to me, his expression softening. "Listen, kiddo. I know this isn't what you wanted, but you've got a home here for as long as you need it. We'll figure out school, friends, all that stuff." For the first time that day, I didn't feel like an unwanted package. The next few weeks were rough. Starting at a new school mid-semester was about as fun as a root canal. I missed my friends, my familiar hallways, everything, but Jake made it bearable. He fixed up the spare room with stuff he thought a teenage girl might like. His Pinterest fails were legendary, drove me to and from school, and never once made me feel like a burden. One night over pizza, he casually mentioned, "You know, my sister, your mom, was always the perfect one growing up too. Some things never change." That's when it clicked that maybe this family dynamic wasn't just about me. It was deeper than that. Meanwhile, my parents called exactly twice. Once to make sure I'd settled in, and another time to ask if I could send back my bedroom furniture since Abby and Todd need it. Jake told them where they could stick that request, which was pretty epic. I tried to keep a low profile on social media, but one night after a particularly rough day, failed a calc test, tripped in the cafeteria, classic new girl disasters. I kinda lost it. I made this TikTok about being kicked out at 16. Nothing fancy, just me sitting in Jake's guest room telling my story. I had like 200 followers, mostly from my old school. Figured it would get lost in the void. Boy, was I wrong. I woke up to my phone blowing up. The video had over 100K views overnight. Comments poured in, most supportive, some from people sharing similar stories, others from adults horrified that parents would do this. Then came the relatives. Aunts, cousins, even my grandma's bridge partner somehow found it. Family secrets don't stay secret in the age of TikTok, folks. By noon, my mom was calling, then texting, then emailing, each message more frantic than the last. Take that video down immediately. You're embarrassing the family. This isn't how we raised you to behave. Dad tried the guilt approach. Your mother is devastated. Is this how you repay our generosity? Generosity. Right, because nothing says generosity like garbage bags on your birthday. Abby texted too. Can we talk, please? This isn't what I wanted. Jake found me staring at my phone, paralyzed by the bombardment. You don't owe them a response, he said, handing me a mug of hot chocolate with those mini marshmallows. Not until you're ready. So I blocked them. All of them. It was the most liberating feeling, like dropping a backpack full of rocks. Update, guys. Things have escalated fast. My parents ambushed me outside the library yesterday. The confrontation revealed the real reason behind everything, and it's all about money. Like life-changing amounts of cash that my sister might lose access to because of me. I'm shaking writing this. My grandma apparently has way more pull in this situation than anyone let on. Do I have the right to mess with my family's financial future just because they messed with mine? The moral dilemma is crushing me. 2 weeks. After the great blocking, I was walking out of the public library when a familiar Tahoe pulled up to the curb. My parents stepped out looking like they'd walked straight out of a Brooks Brothers catalog. We need to talk, Dad said, not asking. Telling. I clutched my library books tighter. I'm busy. This is important. Mom's voice had that fake, sweet tone she used with service people she was about to complain about. It's about family. Jake had told me I didn't have to speak to them until I was ready. Was I ready? Hell no. But curiosity got the better of me. We sat awkwardly at a nearby Starbucks, them with their complicated coffee orders, me with a simple hot chocolate. Your video has caused complications, Dad began, straightening his tie. Grandma Catherine saw it. That explained the urgency. Grandma Catherine was Dad's mother. Old money, old rules, and apparently, old temper. She's threatening to change her will, Mom hissed, leaning forward. Do you understand what that means? I sipped my hot chocolate. Not really, Dad pinched, the bridge of his nose. It means she's considering cutting us, all of us, out of the inheritance. Because of how we handled your situation. You mean kicking me out? Don't be dramatic, Mom snapped. Then, catching herself, softened her tone. We need you to take down that video and come home. Tell Grandma it was all a misunderstanding. Stared at them. So this isn't about missing me. It's about money. Of course we miss you, Dad said unconvincingly. But there are practical considerations here. Abby's wedding, the house renovations. Catherine is threatening to leave everything to Jake and you if we don't make things right, Mom added, making air quotes. And there it was. The truth, finally. Not, we love you, or we made a mistake. Just cold, hard cash concerns. So what exactly do you want? I asked, though I already knew. Come home, delete the video, tell Grandma you exaggerated for attention. Dad listed off demands like he was closing a business deal. We'll move some things around, maybe finish the basement for Abby and Todd. The basement they could have finished, instead of kicking me out in the first place. I stood up, gathering my books. No thanks, I'm good where I am. Their faces were priceless, like I'd just turned down a winning lottery ticket. You don't understand what's at stake, Mom hissed, but I did. For the first time, I really did. I understand perfectly, I said, channeling Jake's words from weeks ago. And no amount of money is worth feeling unwanted in my own home. I walked out, leaving them with their cooling coffees and money problems. The next day, Abby texted from a new number. Park by the old elementary school? Just us, please. Against my better judgment, I agreed. She was sitting on a swing when I arrived, looking smaller somehow without Mom and Dad flanking her. Her perfect blonde hair was in a messy bun, and she wasn't wearing makeup, a first in my memory. Hey, she said softly as I approached. Hey. We swung in silence for a minute, the chains creaking rhythmically. I'm sorry, she finally said. I should have stood up for you. I dug my sneakers into the wood chips. Why didn't you? She sighed. Because I'm a coward. Because it was easier to go along with Mom and Dad. Because... She trailed off. Because they've always favored you, I finished. Abby didn't deny it. I know. I've always known. And I used it to my advantage, which makes me even worse. She looked at me directly. But I never wanted them to kick you out. That wasn't the plan. What was the plan then? Todd and I were supposed to take the guest room. But then Mom started talking about renovations and turning your room into a nursery someday, and it just snowballed. She twisted her engagement ring nervously. I should have said no. Yeah, you should have. I moved out, she blurted. Left Todd at Mom and Dad's. We had a huge fight about all this. That surprised me. Abby and Todd were the perfect couple in everyone's eyes. Todd said what they did was wrong and I needed to pick a side. Her eyes filled with tears. He was right. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to comfort her. She was still my sister. But another part remembered those garbage bags. I'm not asking for forgiveness, she continued. Just, maybe we could start talking again? Eventually, I thought about it. Maybe, eventually. We swung a little longer before parting ways with an awkward half-hug. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was something. The final bomb dropped 3 days later. Jake got a call from Grandma Catherine's lawyer. She's giving your parents an ultimatum, he told me that evening. Either they sign over custody to me legally, or she's cutting their portion of the inheritance in half. My stomach dropped. I don't want to be the reason they lose money, Jake laughed bitterly. Trust me, kiddo, they're not hurting for cash. And besides, he handed me an envelope. Catherine wanted you to have this. Inside was a letter, handwritten in elegant script. My dearest granddaughter, family is not disposable. Your parents seem to have forgotten this fundamental truth. I've arranged for Jacob to become your legal guardian if you both agree. Your college fund will now be managed by my trust, not your parents. You deserve a home where you are valued. Money cannot buy character. With love, Grandma Catherine. 2 days later, my parents showed up at Jake's with custody papers already signed. They chose the money, of course. We think this arrangement is best for everyone, Dad said stiffly. Mom added, you can visit on holidays, like she was offering some kind of prize. I didn't respond. Didn't need to. Their actions said everything. They left without hugging me goodbye. Update. Thank you all for following this wild ride. Many of you asked what happened next. Did I ever rebuild relationships with my parents? Did Abby and Todd work things out? The answer is complicated, just like family always is. It's been 6 months since everything went down, and I've learned some tough lessons about who really constitutes family. Jake has been an absolute rock star through everything. As for my parents, well, sometimes the absence of toxic people is the greatest presence in your life. Should I give them another chance? Or is some damage beyond repair? It's been 6 months since I officially became Jake's ward. For all the drama that caused it, life settled into something surprisingly normal. Jake repainted my room. We went with this cool teal color that would have given my mother a conniption. Boris the dog sleeps at the foot of my bed most nights. I made the honor roll at my new school and even joined the debate team. Turns out I have opinions and a voice. Who knew? My parents maintain their distance, sending the occasional text on holidays or when they need to check some box on their good parent scorecard. I respond politely but briefly. It's not forgiveness, just civility. Grandma Catherine comes for dinner every Sunday now. She's nothing like the stern matriarch I expected. She wears Converse at 75 and has strong opinions about Marvel movies. She's teaching me about investing my college fund and says things like, men may come and go, but a diversified portfolio is forever. As for Abby, that's complicated. She and Todd eventually worked things out, but they moved into an apartment across town instead of staying with our parents. She texts me regularly, memes, questions about my day, normal sister stuff. We meet for coffee sometimes. It's awkward, but getting better. They remodeled your room, she told me during one of our meetups. It's a home gym now, I laughed. Of course it is. They don't talk about you, she added quietly. It's like you never existed there. That stung, but less than I expected. I exist here, and I do. In Jake's mismatched house with the dog hair on everything and Grandma Catherine's Sunday visits. In my new school where nobody knows me as Abby's quiet little sister. In this new life I never asked for but somehow fits better than the old one ever did. Last week I made another TikTok. Not about family drama this time, but about finding your people, the ones who choose you every day, not just when it's convenient. It didn't go viral, but the comments from my original video poured in anyway. How are you doing now? Did your parents ever apologize? Are you happy? That last question made me pause. Am I happy? I thought about Jake burning pancakes every Saturday morning while blasting 90s grunge. About Grandma Catherine teaching me to drive in her ancient Mercedes. About my new friends who know the real me, not some shadow version. Yeah, I'm happy. Not because everything's perfect, it's definitely not, but because for the first time in my life, I'm not the black sheep. I'm just me. Mom texted yesterday. We miss having you around the house. I didn't respond right away. When I finally did, I kept it simple. I miss who I thought you were. Maybe someday we'll find our way back to something resembling family. Maybe not. Either way, I'm good. Abby's pregnant now, early days, but she's glowing. She asked if I'd consider being the baby's godmother. I want them to know they're amazing aunt, she said. So I guess I'll be Auntie Awesome someday soon. The cool one who lets them stay up late and teaches them that family isn't always who you're born to. Sometimes it's who you find along the way. As for me, I'm applying to colleges next year. East Coast, far from Portland. Jake says he'll help me move in, and Grandma Catherine already bought me luggage for graduation. I used to think being the black sheep meant something was wrong with me. Now I know better. Sometimes being pushed out of the flock is the best thing that can happen to you. You find your own path, your own people, and sometimes that path leads exactly where you were always meant to be.